So I've probably titled this video something like the problem with lollies or something like that. But to be clear, I don't think it's a problem. What inspired me to create this video is another video I watched by Moist Critical. In that video, Charlie explained that lollies are something he hates about anime and the general low age of characters featured in anime and manga.
Anime's fixation on making all of the characters kids or very kid-like for no reason. Now, I'm not specifically talking about lollies. I'm sure you know what lollies are. If you don't, all power to you. Your innocence is intact. But I'll go ahead and ruin Christmas for you. Lollies are an anime where they have a character that looks like a child, but is actually a 4,000-year-old dragon cum vampire who's highly sexualized but looks like children is always just so useless because they could have easily just been adults and it wouldn't have taken away from anything. It's just weird. I don't really get it. Now, I'm not saying every single anime has to be like 40-year-old grizzled war veterans for characters or anything, but there's a lot of shows where them being kids is just a completely useless plot point, and because it doesn't actually play a role in the plot. Them being kids doesn't matter, like the two examples I just gave you.
While everything he says is true, I believe it to be taken horrendously out of context. Hey everyone, welcome to Aniprop. Let's get into it. Let's start by defining what exactly is a lolly. The term lolly originates from the book titled Lolito, which was written by Russian-American Vladimir Nabokov in 1955. The tale of Lolito delves into adult encounters with underage girls. Not the legal kind of erotic novel. Regardless, the story itself is a classic, garnering many theatrical adaptations. Over time, the word became adopted by anime viewing subcultures. Nowadays, the definition of what a lolly is pretty varied and subjective, but the most widely applicable definition is a female anime character with a childlike appearance. This means that their gender features are likely underdeveloped. I think this is the primary reason for the outrage towards the inclusion of lollies in media. The reason I don't believe this is a problem is because I view it as a cultural misunderstanding. Most of the outrage comes from fans in the West, where the age of consent is 16. The age of consent in Japan is, however, 13. This disparity explains the much younger ages for characters depicted in anime. A 15-year-old anime character would be equivalent to an 18-year-old in the West just purely off the age of consent and the expected maturity achieved by that time. I don't believe the difference in legal ages of consent are often considered when the fans criticize the ages of the anime characters. When I go onto most American shows depicting similar content, as those in anime, the characters are often 18, so for me it seems the same. Another thing Charlie complained about is why protagonists in anime seem to be so young. Again, I point to cultural differences. Japanese culture legally acknowledges that a person reaches maturity much faster than in the West. During the Edo period of Japan's history, a person was legally an adult at 13 years for girls and 15 years for boys. Modern Japan raised that age to 20, but they are now enacting law to lower it again to 18 for both boys and girls. Most fantasy anime are based on the Edo era, where a 15-year-old boy would be considered an adult. Therefore, a 17-year-old protagonist in anime would be equivalent to a 20-year-old in the West, who is really a person in their prime. When looking at action, the depicted action is more believable when it's orchestrated by individuals at prime physical age, which is what these characters are, even if they are viewed as kids in the West. Another crucial reason why young characters are used is to appeal to the primary demographic. Most anime is made for kids in the 12 to 17 age group. It therefore helps when the protagonists are relatable, and being close in age to the audience can be helpful in allowing the viewers to identify with the characters. One point he made that's totally accurate is when anime take a loli character and make them a 1,000-year-old vampire or something. This way they can legally have a childlike character doing mature things, which is kinda wild. The irony is that I think creators started including these sorts of characters because of the West's influence in anime. The loli characters tend to be really popular, like Beatrice in Re:Zero, so anime that include at least one perform better financially. We all know anime is extremely expensive to make, and we want them to do well so that they can make more. So every anime gets a loli. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. There is clear demand, regardless of what you, myself, or anyone thinks. Lolis are here in anime to stay. Let me know what you think about this issue in the comments. Thanks for watching today. Like and subscribe. See you next time.